Tonight on To The Point, tiny homes for the homeless. Governor Newsom promised more than 1,000. A year later, none have opened. We look into why. Plus gas station theft, thieves stealing fuel straight from the pump. The search for those involved.
The Memorial Day weekend forecast, how things will be a little different this year.
And later on the back roads, we head to Yuba County to see a once Methodist church turned into a museum of sorts.
Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Tonight, we're asking local and state leaders about a promise Governor Gavin Newsom made more than a year ago that hasn't yet come to fruition. 1,200 so-called tiny homes or sleeping cabins spread across our 4 cities statewide, including here in Sacramento. Today, not one of those cabins is up and running. Becca Habegger explains.
You want to see progress, and you want to see it now.
In March of 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a plan to give 4 cities sleeping cabins totaling 1,200 beds, 500 to Los Angeles, 200 to San Jose, 150 to San Diego County, and 350 to Sacramento. But more than a year later, not a single one is even installed, let alone providing transitional housing to the homeless population they're meant to serve. That's according to an investigation by the nonpartisan nonprofit news organization Cal Matters.
It's, again, a matter of the delivery of the homes from the various manufacturers.
That was Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg back in October, announcing 175 of Sacramento's allotted 350 beds would be installed on this site at 6810 Stockton Boulevard.
Look at this old property and look at what it is going to become.
In March of this year, the state broke ground at this site. Here's how it looks today. It will become an emergency shelter and service campus offering 175 beds using those sleeping cabins promised by the governor. But those cabins aren't in place yet, as you can see, and this site, according to Cal Matters, is the farthest along of all 4 cities' projects. It's set to open in the fall. The remainder of Sacramento's 175 beds are planned for this site at 4837 Watt Avenue. A county spokesperson tells ABC 10 the Watt site is currently in the programming and design phase, which means we're drafting up exactly what it will look like and what services will be offered there. It is slated to open end of 2025. Cal Matters reports in October the state selected 6 companies to manufacture the sleeping cabins, so why aren't they up and running yet? A spokesperson for the State Department of General Services tells ABC 10, although these are small homes, they're still basically houses and require many of the connectivity and foundation work needed with many other structures. That work requires careful design and construction, plus close coordination with our local partners. All of that takes time. Without setting such an ambitious goal, we would not be as far along as we are today, and Sacramento has made the most progress ahead of all other participating communities. Of the 1,200 promised beds, only 155 sleeping cabins have been purchased so far. Some of them are double occupancy, so that makes a total of 175 beds, and they're going on this site, with delivery expected to begin in June. A spokesperson for the Department of General Services tells ABC 10 focusing solely on timelines diminishes the hard work of numerous individuals dedicating to providing much-needed housing.
All right, I want to bring in Becca Habegger, who, of course, has been following this for us. And I want to talk about costs because the state is investing $80 million into this project, right?
Right, and about $23 million of that is going to Sacramento. Now, Cap Radio, which also published an investigation yesterday, reported the Stockton Boulevard project is estimated to cost $22.5 million. That leaves about $800,000 to buy the other 175 tiny homes. And with each unit costing a minimum of $100,000 to stand up, the money likely won't go far. Now, the state tells me that's because Sacramento asked to use their money to further build out the emergency shelter and services site at Stockton Boulevard beyond just the purchase of those sleeping cabins. So whatever's left over will be put toward the Watt Avenue site.
And we know that you have a lot of questions at home, so we will continue to follow this. And Becca, thanks for the update tonight. All right, California lawmakers have adjourned ahead of the holiday weekend. They started this week with more than 900 bills, all of which had to pass out of their house of origin to stay alive. Here's some that we've been keeping track of. So the Senate advanced legislation that would increase penalties for organized crime rings, expand drug court programs, and close a legal loophole to make it easier to prosecute auto thefts. They also advanced the SAFE Act, which would require the Department of State hospitals to consider public safety when placing a sexually violent predator back in a Louisiana community after they petitioned for a conditional release. The Senate also passed a measure that would make purchasing a child for sex a felony. This version includes amendments that it no longer affects someone if they are soliciting a 16 or 17-year-old, and the felony charge would not be prison eligible. All of these bills now move on to the next House. They will then head to the governor's desk for approval. And we do have a sad update tonight to a story that we just brought you yesterday. A little girl pulled from a fiery crash on I-80 near Watt yesterday has died. CHP says the girl was under 10 years old. They say the crash is still under investigation and the driver is still being treated for his injuries. The case against a teenager accused of causing a deadly crash in Yolo County concluded today. The Yolo district attorney says the teen accused in the crash was found guilty of several charges. The court ruled the minor, who was 13 years old at the time of the crash, will be detained until he turns 19. He will serve time at the juvenile detention facility. And this crash, it happened back in April of 2023. Police say an officer tried to pull over the car for driving erratically, and instead of stopping, the teen sped away and crashed into two other cars, causing one to catch on fire. A grandmother and her granddaughter died, and almost a dozen more people were hurt because of this crash. Tonight, a firefighter is facing charges accused of indecent exposure. Deputies say back in March, Rancho Cordova police were called to a car wash on Sunrise Boulevard for a man exposing himself. He was later identified as 32-year-old Clifford Robinson, who works for CAL FIRE. The sheriff's office says that they found out Robinson has been arrested for a similar offense years ago and registered as a sex offender. They are asking any more potential victims to come forward. And here's a story for you tonight. Several gas stations in Sutter County are being hit by an increase in fuel theft. The sheriff's office says they are stealing it from the pumps, but they're trying to figure out how they're able to get away with it. ABC 10's Roxana Elias has more on this story tonight.
People out here were so surprised to hear the thieves took the gas straight from the gas pumps you see here behind me. The sheriff's office now investigating this into a bigger issue of more cases. It was an incident on Tuesday that caught the attention of the Sutter County Sheriff's Office. They say deputies witnessed several vehicles congregating around gas pumps at the Shell station off Highway 99, which they say appeared suspicious. It happened between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. 4 cars were stopped leaving the gas station for traffic violations, and one of those contained 3 different sized fuel containers which were full. A spokeswoman for Sutter County Sheriff's Office tells us no one was arrested in that incident because not enough evidence was found. But detectives are actively investigating. The Chevron gas station up the road was also hit, but they didn't want to share how the theft is happening. A small business owner we talked to earlier says he wants to see those responsible be held accountable.
This area, we do need a lot of small businesses, and I'm a small business owner as well. So we need to support each other. So it's sad to hear that.
Deputies tell us they're now closely patrolling gas stations in the county. They're encouraging all business owners of 24-hour gas stations to keep track of gas sales. You're also asked to report any suspicious activity. In Yuba City, Roxana Elias, ABC 10.
In other news tonight, Louisiana has become the first state in the nation to classify abortion pills as a controlled substance. The bill signed by the state's governor today makes it a crime to possess the drugs mifepristone and misoprostol without a prescription. Opponents of the measure says that changing the classification makes it harder to prescribe the medications, and supporters of the bill say it would protect expecting mothers from coerced abortions. The bill was passed as opponents await a final decision from the U.S. Supreme Court on an effort to restrict access to mifepristone. The new law will take effect October 1st. Next, on to the point, a crime warning: how criminals are knocking out your home security systems.
Everything you need to know for traveling Memorial Day weekend with your weather.
And later on the back roads, we take a trip to the Church of Curiosity, how it went from a traditional Methodist church to a collection of unusual things.
I'm not the greatest historian or anything else. I'm just, like you said, the keeper of the stuff, man.
You can come in here 100 times and you'll never see everything.
If you're planning to hit the road this weekend, you'll see way more CHP officers. That's because they're gearing up for the holiday with a maximum enforcement period. It is in effect right now and it ends Monday at midnight. Officers are urging drivers to follow the laws for everyone's safety. Of course, we know holiday weekend can be a little bit dangerous. All right, now turning to our weather. This is a live look outside downtown Sacramento. It's been an absolutely beautiful start to the holiday weekend. And we have Devin here with a look at our forecast. It's going to be a great weekend, actually.
Beautiful. A little cooler than normal. Temperature is usually 82 to 84. We're going to start off in the 70s, but a quick trip right up to 86, 87 degrees for the actual Memorial Day. So if you wanted it to be really hot, don't worry, we are going to get there. Just a few reminders. Average water temperature right now about 52 to 54 degrees. So things are going to be cold if you're camping, whether in Yosemite or up in the Sierra. We have some isolated thunderstorm activity this evening, and then a little stray shower Monday into Tuesday evening. Shouldn't affect any of those Memorial Day services. And then that current is moving cold and fast. If you're under the age of 12 and under, you must wear a life jacket. Breezy conditions. Take a look at how that branch is moving out there in the Big Mountain backyard. Current temp 67, Sacramento 65, Stockton 69, Modesto 61 in Tahoe. And we've got this onshore flow coming off a very cold Pacific Ocean that's going to stick with us all weekend long. Gusts upwards to 30 miles per hour in some areas this evening. Wind will pick up again at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Gusts anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the day Saturday. And it's going to keep us nice and cool as we make our way to Saturday evening and the rest of the work week. Making plans, we've got temperatures for you. 69 Groveland, 71 Jacksonville, 68 Placerville, 61 Pollock Pines. Headed over to the Bay Area, we have 60 in Oakland, 59 San Francisco, 71 Rio Vista, 72 Vacaville, 70 in Fairfield, 69 in Napa for Bottle Rock. And then we've got just a row of those mid-70s tomorrow from Manteca all the way up through Roseville. 10-day big warm up on the way with a minor heat risk setting in as we see temperatures climb to the upper 80s for next week. Alex.
All right, Devin, thank you so much. A beautiful weekend ahead. Next on To The Point, police warning of a new crime targeting your home security system, how you can protect yourself. Plus, the Department of Justice suing entertainment company Live Nation, what they're accusing the company of doing. Tonight, police are warning about groups allegedly targeting homes with jamming Wi-Fi equipment to knock out their security system. So authorities in Southern California breaking up what they're calling burglary tourism. Here's Matt Rivers with more on what to look out for.
Tonight, the 4 men inside this vehicle under arrest, accused of being a part of an international crime operation, traveling to the U.S. to commit burglaries, camouflaging cameras in plants, and using Wi-Fi signal jammers to target homes. Police in Glendale, north of downtown Los Angeles, stopping the vehicle after seeing it exit a dead-end residential street with its headlights off. Upon searching the car, finding, quote, a video surveillance device with a battery-packed charging system camouflaged in leaves to gain a view of residences and know when homeowners would leave. Authorities also locating a construction hard hat and a vest to approach homes with minimal suspicion. And they say they found freshly disturbed dirt in a nearby planter. One of those suspects also apprehended just weeks ago following a high-speed pursuit. Police say during the chase, he discarded a Wi-Fi signal jammer capable of disrupting home security systems. Officials tonight saying those 4 men are Colombian nationals and traveled to the U.S. to engage in what authorities now call burglary tourism. An issue now widespread enough, some police departments setting up specialized task forces.
It's very sophisticated. The methods that they're using, we haven't seen before. It's a regional problem, nationwide problem.
And to help protect you and your home, officials recommend shifting security systems from wireless to wired and protecting your circuit breakers and putting trackers on your valuables. All right, let's get into your price points tonight. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau has issued a report saying popular buy now, pay later programs should be regulated the same way as credit cards. The proposed rule would require the programs to handle things like investigating disputes, refund returned products, and canceled services and provide billing statements. It comes after the CFPB opened an investigation into buy now, pay later back in 2021 and found inconsistent consumer protections. This week, the Justice Department, along with 29 states, filed an antitrust lawsuit against Ticketmaster's owner, Live Nation Entertainment. The lawsuit alleges the company holds a monopoly over concert ticket sales, which hurts fans, artists, and competitors.
The result is that fans pay more in fees, artists have fewer opportunities to play concerts, smaller promoters get squeezed out, and venues have fewer real choices for ticketing services.
It follows a more than 2-year-long investigation into the company. Live Nation responded in a statement saying, in part, quote, the DOJ's lawsuit won't solve the issues fans care about relating to ticket prices, service fees, and access to in-demand shows. All right, buckle up for another adventure on the back roads. Tonight, John Bartel takes us to a small town in Yuba County to explore the Church of Curiosity.
The church bells no longer ring in the little gold rush town of Camptonville. But that doesn't mean that the church doors don't open.
Come on in, man.
And the pews aren't full of congregants.
So this is a possum with glasses who's packing a bunch of brush, which possums don't do. That's what makes it unusual.
Do a lot of possums wear glasses?
No, mine do.
Yours do?
Yes, they do.
Welcome to Bob McDonald's Church of Curiosity, a display case for whatever Bob wants. What is this thing?
Barbecue skunk. It's a skunk barbecuing on a rotisserie.
There's no charge to enter the Church of Curiosity. In fact, Bob may even offer you some of his famous Sakatumi cake and invite you in. What's the name come from?
It comes from Sakatumi, yeah, exactly.
Like the song?
Exactly.
If you've never heard of Camptonville or the Church of Curiosity, you're not alone. It's located north of Grass Valley up Highway 49 near the border of Yuba and Sierra counties. Camptonville's claim to fame is being the home of Lester Pelton, inventor of the Pelton wheel.
It was a water wheel used for, who knows, stamp mills, generate power.
About 100 people live in Camptonville. There's a school, a community center, a Forest Service station, and of course, the church and cemetery.
If it wasn't for the cemetery, nobody would come up here.
Before it was the Church of Curiosity, it was an old Methodist church. After it shut down, Bob bought it and turned it into a cabin/rental home.
Somebody called Yuba County, and Yuba County said you can't have people living in a church.
The county told Bob he couldn't rent it or live in it without significant improvements, but they didn't say he couldn't turn it into a museum of sorts.
I'm not the greatest historian or anything else. I'm just, like you said, the keeper of the stuff, man, till the next guy comes along.
Bob inherited most of the stuff from neighbors who passed away in town or other neighbors in town like Faye Mellinger, who also gives tours of the place.
You can come in here 100 times and you'll never see everything.
Other than the local artifacts, Bob spiced up the collection with his own handmade taxidermy collection.
This is a two-headed goose. It's a speckle-bellied goose.
Bob likes to put his own artistic flair into his taxidermy, and he's pretty proud of it. How would you grade yourself on this one?
Well, I'll give myself an A on this one. Just for the effect. Just for the effect of what it's saying.
Bob's eclectic art can be seen throughout town. On Calvin Street, you'll find these bears driving a truck.
It's just something out of the ordinary that I like that'll catch people's eye, that's all.
If one church wasn't enough, Bob bought a second, the old Catholic church across the street. Inside is the Camptonville Historic Society's collection of artifacts, and outside is a band of metal art sculptures.
They're all playing music facing towards the Church of Curiosity.
Bob says there's not much going on in town.
There's nothing to do in Camptonville, so this is it.
But if you ask me, there's plenty to see, and Bob's preserving it, whether he knows what it is or not.
And you tell me, well, I have no idea what it is, man. It looks like some kind of a voodoo thing, man.
From the Church of Curiosity in Camptonville, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
All right, now it's your turn. If you have something you think would be a great road trip destination, make sure you let John know all about it. Just text your idea to 916-321-3310. We'll be right back after this break. All throughout May for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we have been sharing stories about the visionaries and trailblazers who have shaped their history and shared their culture. And coming up on Monday on To The Point, we have the story of local Hmong artists working to keep their cultural traditions alive through traditional clothing. They help tell a history of a painful survival and resilience. The Hmong art of flower cloths and story cloths, how a decorative tradition evolved into a form of documentation after war in Laos drove many in the Hmong community into refugee camps in Thailand and eventually the U.S.
There's different types of story cloths, like some document folk tales, some document historical events, and then others document migration.
So you can learn more about this enduring tradition history Monday night at 6:30 right here on To The Point. As always, thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. We love telling your stories, and you already know we love getting to meet you too. So if you have something you think we should be looking into, make sure to reach out to me and the team. And remember, strangers are people we just haven't gotten the chance to meet yet. So take the time to get to know someone. Have a great night and a safe weekend. I will see you on Monday. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.